We've talked on the YouTube channel about Beyond Good and Evil, this franchise that has been dormant for a number of years, guys, and we are finally getting the highly anticipated Beyond Good and Evil 2. And what I wanted to go ahead and do in this segment of the show is talk about everything that we want in Beyond Good and Evil 2. And when I say we, guys, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and opinions here, and I would love to hear yours, whether you disagree or agree, in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So, for me, guys, with Beyond Good and Evil, this is a game that came out back in 2003, and obviously it was, a game in which there was obviously the action adventure of that title. It was definitely had a number of different elements to it, but between, solving puzzles and, of course, fighting different types of enemies and, getting like even photographic evidence and such. And so I think that what they did with Beyond Good and Evil was definitely a step in a really great direction for what could have been a really nice long-going, franchise. But at the same time, we haven't had a game since then. And so now we're getting the continuation, even though it's not the continuation, it's technically the prequel to Beyond Good and Evil. And so for me, number one, guys, is I want them to stick to the roots of Beyond Good and Evil. So what I mean by that is having, solving puzzles, fighting, of course, different enemies, having, photographic evidence that you collect and obtain. Obviously stay true to the action adventure of Beyond Good and Evil. I think, that's like first and foremost, the most important thing in my opinion is that there are those differences, but there's definitely those similarities. That leads me to the next thing for me, guys, is look, the different enemies that you're fighting, the different characters that are in the game, the different locations that you're going around or you're exploring and such. I definitely want there to be some differences. I think that's going to be very important, that there's a lot of differences. Maybe some similarities to the first Beyond Good and Evil game, but a lot of differences. Lots of new enemies that we're going up against, new characters, existing characters, but new characters as well. And of course, locations. Having it where it feels like the Beyond Good and Evil world, but at the same time they're different locations so that it doesn't feel repetitive. Now I'm sure, guys, that Ubisoft has this mindset that maybe they want us as an audience and as casual gamers to play this title from the standpoint of, since it's been so long, they may want to really throw a lot of things that are similar to the Beyond Good and Evil franchise because it has been so long. And even if whether you're a casual gamer or you're a very competitive gamer, I'm sure they are going to want to have this balance between those things. And that kind of leads me to the next thing, guys. Beyond Good and Evil, the first one that came out in 2003 was just a single player story, which is totally fine, guys, but I would really like to see this game in this day and age go to that next level. Having a full package, as we talk about all the time on the YouTube channel, having a single player story is very important to continue the story that is Beyond Good and Evil, but also having co-op modes you can play with your friends, and even multiplayer elements would be really cool as well. I think from a graphical standpoint, being able to, just kind of see that the differences between, from 2003 to now, guys, so much has changed. And so I would love to see some additions here to the Beyond Good and Evil franchise. And I think that this is a great opportunity for Ubisoft to create this full package deal for us in this franchise. And it could actually do really well, in my opinion. What the multiplayer looks like and how that plays out is, yet to be seen, guys. And I would, certainly want to be surprised here by Ubisoft, to say the least. I want them to kind of surprise us when it comes to the multiplayer elements. Part of me wonders if it's going to be some type of like end game sort of style like they've done with The Division and like what sounds like, with Watch Dogs Legion and other games that are coming out from Ubisoft. It sounds like that might be something that they kind of do here with Beyond Good and Evil too. And one other thing, guys, for me is obviously I want this to really feel like a living, breathing place, which from the graphics to what we've seen so far as gameplay is concerned, or at least the reveal trailers, it looks like this is going to be a really cool open world game. And I just really want us to be able to traverse this world in a number of ways. I think that's going to be really important moving into this title. And I just want there to be hundreds of hours that we could put into it, whether you're talking from a single player perspective, a multiplayer perspective, or a co-op perspective. Whatever it is that you want to do and how you want to connect with this game, I think it's been so long since we had a continuation of this franchise that it's almost like owed to us to be able to just put as much time and effort as we want into this game. So I would love to see that, because I want Beyond Good and Evil 2 to kind of withstand almost, you know, the next decade of a shelf life, you know, after it comes out, whenever that may be. I would love it to be able to kind of set up the next 10 years of Beyond Good and Evil, and what could be maybe a trilogy, Beyond Good and Evil 3 eventually. And so that's kind of my last thing, guys, is I really want this title to set up the next 10, 20 years of the, you know, of the Beyond Good and Evil franchise. And hopefully we get, you know, continuations of it a lot sooner than from Beyond Good and Evil 1 to Beyond Good and Evil 2. But with that being said, guys, I want to hear from all of you. What do you want to see in Beyond Good and Evil 2? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Beyond Good and Evil 2 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.